Ask Holly who, and then what.
Sally McNeil comes in from California, has had some great success as an amateur.
And this guy, Mr. Armed Forces, Ray McNeil.
It's not like I woke up and decided I'm gonna kill my husband.
Sally McNeil has managed to bridge the gap of gender and become somebody who is physical, confrontational.
Killer Sally. She earned that name different than the obvious, even though it turns out to be obvious.
And I remember as a little kid saying, oh, that's not ugly.
So Killer Sally is a documentary, 3 episodes, and it actually has court footage, it has interrogation footage of her and her family.
When I love somebody, I give them my all. You get everything of me.
Everyone would stare, everyone, because they didn't look like everybody else.
What it did is basically you start watching and it's like it chucks you through the window and you think, oh, I'm not into bodybuilding. But the way that this is directed and filmed, the audience just chucks you through the window, you go flying. This is the way I explain it, and you get captivated the whole time, the whole story, the whole journey as to what's going on. Yeah, because they got footage of absolutely everything. You have to understand that. With bodybuilding and their family filming and pictures, and you know they weren't in the top tier, and so they were in the progression trying to be in the top tier. So they had footage galore. So this really completes a whole story, and that's what makes this absolutely amazing story as to why this happened, how this happened, and what's it like to be let alone a female bodybuilder in the early 90s, just that lifestyle and being parents.
Hi, I used to be Sergeant McNeil. I was in the Marine Corps for 11 years.
Sally McNeil has a tremendous physique, as you can see.
Sally didn't talk about what was happening with Ray.
I knew that my dad was going to be like Conan. That's all I remember saying in my head.
Bodybuilding is a sport for the whole family. His 2 children climbed on stage to flex next to Dad.
So they won the bodybuilding world, and in the early 90s, there wasn't steroids at first, and as time went by, the audience basically said, look, we want to see people non-human, and the only way to achieve this is steroids. And it wasn't a secret. They started in competitions pumping themselves full of roids.
They were Marines, he was a sergeant, they won bodybuilding competitions.
And the physiques were down quite a few steps. One guy dropped out after the first round because he looked so bad he couldn't handle it.
And so Killer Sally got that name because steroids was expensive, and so she basically, being a strong woman, hired herself. It's a form of prostitution in my eyes, but apparently she didn't have sex with these people. She got hired to strangle men, to manhandle them, however you want to say, thigh strangle them, pick them up, do strong women things, because she's a bodybuilder, to these men. And I'm sure there's some women as well that wanted this to happen to them and pay for it. So in order to pay for their steroids for Ray McNeil and herself, she did this, and she was quite successful. And in that realm of strong woman holding, She had a good community supporting her with that. But I digress, because what ends up happening is they have children, and the steroids, as steroids does, make somebody even more angry than what they were in the first place, or more competitive, more aggressive, all sorts of things, just more. And so that's how this story starts to outplay.
Hi, I'm Sally McNeil, and I'm going to pose just for you.
$50 an hour. And then I started wrestling for a lot of other people and was making good money doing that. My first film that I made was called Snow Job.
Then they're red for you.
We're saying that, like, they had two children. Well, in the documentary, they let two children be known that they had. And the young boy was saying, like, in primary school, elementary school for Americans, was saying, like, he had a beef with somebody, and he would say, "You don't know what kind of crazy shit I got, with my mum." And he knew he can march home, tell his mum, and she would, as she did, grab his hand, go over there and really put these people in their place. I know personally from elementary, primary school, the juvenile mindset with that, your mum's a weapon. Why wouldn't you use it?
911, I just shot my husband.
Because of what I did to Daddy.
He's in heaven now.
My kids were back in Pennsylvania. I'm separated from them, and I'm by myself.
Premeditated first-degree murder or self-defense?
Did she use her strength to defend herself or to murder her husband?
And I've learned to, suppress things and block them out. And I got my shotgun and I came out and I wanted to threaten him with it. And then...
A violent person can't be a battered woman.
Prosecutor Daniel Goldstein described Sally McNeil as a dangerous woman who has a lot of pent-up anger.
It's been instilled in me that I'm the violent one.
The defense was able to persuade the judge, without hearing any evidence, that Sally was a battered woman.
I was a good wife to Ray. I loved him.
Yeah, it went through everything, the ins and outs of this type of lifestyle and what ended up happening. Sally McNeil is actually 20 years later talking about this in retrospect because there's so much footage of everything. So she basically explains where she's coming from. Initially, she was in military, and it becomes quite obvious that she has a military-type mind. So being military and steroids, bodybuilding, and what happened, it makes sense. Everything falls into place. But I've never seen anything so well documented and true story all the way. Oh yeah, like and subscribe, it helps me out. Yeah, comment, that'd be great.
I think the key story point in the Sally McNeil case was Sally McNeil.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to Who asked Holly seriously who